Good morning, Your Honor.
Good morning.
May I proceed?
Yes.
This morning, the parties have 3 stipulations for the fact finder to consider in this case. They're all going to be marked and admitted into evidence by agreement of the parties. Stipulation number 1 is marked State's Exhibit 294. Stipulation of fact regarding GBI toxicologist Carla Turner. Carla Turner is a forensic toxicologist with the Georgia Bureau of Investigation. She tested the liquid from the white styrofoam cup recovered from the retention pond area by Sergeant Saunders on February 22, 2024. Her results were reported as follows. Ethyl alcohol result by gas chromatography, 65 proof. And there's a error rate in there of plus or minus 3. And that's going to be admitted as State's 294. It is signed by the state and counsel for the defendant.
It will be admitted.
State's Exhibit 296 is a stipulation of fact signed by all parties, stipulating to latent print examiner Ashley Haas, H-A-A-S, from the Georgia Bureau of Investigation. Ashley Haas is a forensic latent print examiner with the GBI. She tested the following items in this case. 3 black gloves recovered from the bushes at the apartments at 285 Millage Avenue. GBI item numbers 2A, 2B, and 2C were physically and chemically processed for latent prints with negative results. She cut the gloves for this examination, but only after they were processed and photographed by the serology section. 2, Ms. Haas removed the barcode sticker from the Adidas black hat, GBI item number 39, and those items were visually, physically, and chemically processed for latent prints with negative results. The Adidas stickers themselves from the hat have been marked and will now be entered as State's Exhibit 150. 2 rocks from the crime scene. Evidence markers 2 and 3 from the crime scene with GBI item numbers 22 and 23 were physically and chemically processed for latent prints with negative results. 4, the styrofoam cup and straw from the retention pond at the crime scene, GBI item number 64A and 64B, were physically and chemically processed for latent prints with negative results. And that completes the stipulation at 296. Will be moved to admitting at this time.
Defense want to be heard.
No, Your Honor. And then finally this morning, State's Exhibit 295 is a stipulation signed by the state and counsel for the defendant, and is a stipulation of fact regarding ACC PD Sergeant Timothy Stewart and Amanda Blair. Sergeant Tim Stewart and Amanda Blair testified before this court on October 11th, 2024 at a Daubert motion in the above referenced case. All parties hereby agree to admit the testimony of these 2 witnesses from that hearing and the exhibits that were introduced during their testimony at that hearing into evidence at this trial for the fact finder to consider. The transcript at the Daubert motion of these 2 witnesses will be made part of this trial record. Sergeant Tim Stewart's testimony will be admitted at trial as State's Exhibit 290. And I have State's 290 here, which is the transcript of Tim Stewart's testimony from the Daubert hearing on October 11th of 2024, along with his exhibits. And I'll move to admit State's 290. And for the court's recollection, Tim Stewart is the expert that matched the defendant's fingerprint to the phone of Laken Riley's, phone. Stipulation of fact regarding Amanda Blair, her testimony, she was the peer reviewer of Timothy Stewart and agreed with his conclusion. Her transcript has been marked and will now be admitted as State's Exhibit 289. And that completes the stipulations for this morning.
Anything from the defense on those issues? Any objection to those stipulations?
No,
Okay. Let me make 2 announcements regarding yesterday's testimony and evidence. After hearing the music video translations, I do find that the evidence is not relevant and will not be considered. Those are the music videos. I think there were 3.
Yes, Your Honor.
Also, as to the translated phone calls between the defendant and Layling Franco, those translations will not be admitted as evidence and will not be considered. After hearing the translations, I do find that it was more than contextual and therefore violates the Confrontation Clause of the Sixth Amendment.
Yes, Your Honor. Understood.
All right. Anything else before we start with evidence? Okay. You may call your next witness.